Why should leaders of a new worshiping community look to churches and people outside of their community for financial support? Take a look at this slide. Although most new worshiping communities receive grants during the early stage of their development, this funding is usually not enough to carry a community until there is adequate income from participants. Grants are not intended to provide ongoing financial support. They are meant to give community time to develop a regular, ongoing stream of income from participants and others who have an interest in the people and mission of the community. It takes time to build a culture of generosity within a community. So in the meantime, it's important to know how to raise money from those outside your community. Not only will this supplement income until your community is financially sustainable from internal giving, but outside donors developed during this phase may be amenable in the future to support specific one-time projects. Let's look at why people give. What motivates giving? The leading reasons, particularly among people of faith, are impact, faith, relationships, and asking. Most people are motivated to make a difference in the world, to leave a mark, to save a life or change a life. They are motivated to take action, such as giving their time, talent, or money to make this difference, and are attracted to opportunities to make an impact. Looking at it this way, one can see that making a gift is fulfilling their desire. It's all about them. When you make giving about the donor, you pull him or her deeper into your ministry and open up opportunities for future giving. Faith. Faith is a gift from God, and people of faith give in gratitude for the great gift they have received, the love of God, and more concretely, the love of God's people, the church. This love is mediated primarily through those who are close to them, family, friends, and members of their community to whom their faith ties them and in whom they believe. People give to what they believe in: God, their community, and the activities that they initiate. This is why it's so important to tie a request for a gift to gratitude for what has been received. What about relationships? People will give if the cause interests them and they are asked by someone they trust and respect. Knowing what the interest of others is and gaining their trust and respect only happens if there is a relationship. The work of building relationships with these in a community is the precursor to any invitation to give, and should be an ongoing activity of the pastor and leaders. Asking. When asked why they don't give, most people say they were never asked. Many people want to give, but are never invited to, clearly and directly. People are open to opportunity. They want to be included. They want to be involved with something important, but many are unsure of how to do that until someone asks them. The impact can be made clear. The gratitude for faith can be evoked. The testimonies of others may be compelling, but for many, how they should respond is a mystery. You have to ask them. It's important to understand that people want to give. They like to give. When you ask, you are providing that person an opportunity to participate in God's work. Giving doesn't make people poorer, it makes them richer. As the Apostle Paul said to the Corinthians, you will be enriched in every way for your great generosity. Where do you begin as you start to look for prospects? The most likely places are you and your leaders, surrounding churches, people in your networks of friends and associates. The financial commitment of the leader is the starting point for all fundraising by a community. Following that, and as important, is the commitment of those on the leadership team. Next, one can look to one or more churches with which the community has or would like to have a partnership. After that, prospects may be found in the networks of people who surround the members of the community. People who believe in the participants and what they are doing. The primary network is that of the leader. Her family, close friends, churches and church connections, Facebook and Instagram contacts, supportive businesses, and others who may be interested in supporting the community. Each network should be reviewed and its potential prospects identified, evaluated, and prioritized. Once the leader has identified the prospects in her own network, she can take the leadership team through a brainstorming activity to identify people in their networks who may be prospects. This is just a glimpse of the Ministry to Donors Brainstorming for Partners forum. It is an excellent tool to use to prompt response as you brainstorm for prospects. This tool and the forums that follow can all be found on the 1001 resource page, New Church, New Way, under the Resource tab. To evaluate, prioritize, and track the progress toward reaching these prospects, we created the Ministry to Donors Potential Support Partners Forum, a portion of which is shown here. On this chart, you can place prospects in the priority order with their contact information, your planned action, and the response. This form allows one to track progress toward reaching and meeting with each prospect, and by doing so, allows a leader to integrate fundraising work with all the other priorities of community building. Before beginning to fundraise, the leader and any on the leadership team who will be asking must first make their financial commitment. One can't, with integrity, ask others to give unless he or she has made a gift. Making a commitment together can unleash a great movement of enthusiasm among the leadership team. Creating funding partnerships with churches. Churches are among the best prospects for funding new worshiping communities. Not only can mission committees make financial commitments, but individual members, encouraged by congregational funding, may favorably respond to a new worshiping community. The first step toward developing church financial support is a relationship with the church pastor. Pastors have many reasons to establish a relationship with a worshiping community, including being aware of church planting going on in their vicinity, or an interest to extend their ministry outreach to a new segment of the population. Some are proponents of church planting and may be interested in establishing a mentorship with the worshiping community leader. New worshiping community leaders should call on PCUSA pastors in the vicinity of their community and explore the possibilities. Polish your presentation and expect the same scrutiny that may be found with a prospective donor. If there is no natural entree, connecting with a pastor through a relationship with the presbytery may be the best approach. An invitation to preach and introduce one's new worshiping community provides the best opportunity to gain supporters from a church. That and an endorsement and financial support from a mission or outreach committee can provide the credibility needed for individual members to offer financial support. Some individual supporters will be open to hosting a gathering of other members to promote a worshiping community. In such a case, however, the leader should make sure that the pastor knows about the gathering and is invited to it, thereby avoiding any feelings of competition for funds of the congregation.